Today's article is from Robert Whiting's Japan. You can find him on robertwhiting.substack.com or tokyojunkie.com. This story originally appeared in the Japanese newspaper the Yukan Fuji in 2017. So it is a bit of a time machine article. The title is called Is a Home Run Better Than Sex? By Robert Whiting, October 10th, 2023. Tokyo. It feels good to hit a home run. You swing the bat, connect with a pitch, and send it over the outfield fence. It sends a chill down your spine. Sadaharu Oh, who hit 868 of them, said it was ecstasy. Hideki Matsui, who hit over 500 of them, said it was tottemo kimochi. The famous Reggie Jackson said it was better than sex, although some of Jackson's teammates thought he may have been exaggerating. Dr. William Wehner, a New York City cognitive and behavioral psychologist who has made a study of the physical and emotional sensations that accompany a home run, calls it sheer euphoria. Some players say it's the greatest feeling the universe has to offer. They don't even feel their legs beneath them when they run the bases. That feeling is what keeps workers or players working so hard on their game, adds Wehner. The neurochemical activity is similar to other experiences of intense pleasure. It's a high that keeps them coming back for more. You see, when we exercise, explained the doctor, the human brain already increases production of endorphins, pleasure-seeking neuropeptides that sometimes mimic the feeling of euphoria. But when we reach bigger goals during the exercise period, such as a home run or deep yoga pose, our brains reward us exponentially. That's dopamine, the brain's hormone that triggers our internal reward system. It's what drives motivation, the impulse to repeat things again and again. Sometimes motivation and addiction toe a fine line, but that's another story. Dopamine is a central player in sexual desire, erections, and other sexual behavior. So there may be some truth to what Reggie Jackson said. In fact, the Baseball Almanac agreed, listing as a number one reason why hitting a home run is better than sex. Let's start with number 10. Below, please find the full list of reasons. Number 10. It is legal to play professionally. Number 9. You can count on it at least 4 times a week. Number 8. You have a coach to tell you when to advance. Number 7. When you are tired, you always get relieved. Number 6. If you strike out once, you can always have 2 more chances for a hit. Number 5. Up to 4 people can score at once. Number 4. Pop-ups are frequent. Number 3. 30,000 people cheer when you score. Number 2. After 7 innings, you get to stretch. And the number one reason why hitting a home run is better than sex, you can get a home run without any foreplay. I hit my first home run when I was 11 years old, while playing in the Little League in Eureka, a small town on the coast of Northern California. 12-year-old pitcher Gary Lozensky, who lived around the corner from me, threw me a curveball that didn't break. I swung and sent it sailing over the fence in left field, 200 feet away. It sent shivers down my spine. I wouldn't say it was better than sex because I had no idea what sex was at the time, but I certainly enjoyed it. Unfortunately, it's the last home run I ever hit. I spent much of my high school career on the sidelines where I could do the least harm. There are a lot of batters feeling sheer euphoria these days as MLB is in the midst of a power explosion that has not been seen in years. There have been a number of so called home run explosions over the history of Major League Baseball. The first was back in the 1920s when the dead ball era ended with the advent of cork inside the ball. In the next one, in 1961, Roger Maris hit a then record 61 homers to pass Babe Ruth's longtime single season mark of 60. Analysts attributed the jump that year to the American League expanding by two teams and subsequent watering down of pitching talent. The next home run explosion came during the steroid era. Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire staged a dramatic home run duel in 1998, with McGwire blasting a record 70 in 1998 and Sosa hitting 66. That record was surpassed the following year by Barry Bonds' remarkable campaign of 73 home runs. This time, the reason was clear. Steroids combined with the new, modern, retro parks with smaller outfield dimensions. Today, however, even with tight restrictions on steroid use, home runs are being hit at a rate far greater than ever before in the game's 114-year history. 1.26 per team per game. That number would obliterate the current record of 1.17 per game, or per team per game, from the year 2000, which occurred right in the middle of the steroid era. Counting both teams, the rate is 2.52 per game. MLB is on pace to eclipse 6,000 home runs, and in the process shattering the all-time high, which was 5,693. That's 2.34 per game during the steroid era 2000 season. What is the cause this time? Well, by common agreement, pitchers are throwing faster than ever. And batters may not be taking steroids anymore, but they are frequenting the weight training room more than ever and adjusting their swings to use the increased speed to their advantage. They are swinging harder and changing the launch angle on their swings to generate more loft in the ball. The result is more home runs and more strikeouts, which are also on a record pace. As a result, the downswing has all but disappeared in baseball. The pitchers, of course, are not happy with this state of affairs. Masahiro Tanaka of the New York Yankees is on pace to allow twice as many home runs as he has ever allowed to date in one season in MLB. Yu Darvish will exceed his season high with Texas of home runs allowed. Kenta Maeda's ERA has jumped from 3.48 to 4.56. Overall, pitchers' combined ERA, 4.34 in all, is the highest in 10 years. New York Mets pitching coach Dan Warthen says, "There is something wrong with the balls. You're seeing batters hitting the ball to the opposite fielder, breaking their bats, and still the balls fly into the stands," he told USA Today. "It's the ball. The pitchers are throwing harder, but they're getting less movement on their pitches, so the balls are just hanging there. There has to be some investigation," said Miami Marlins reliever and Ichiro teammate Brad Ziegler. "The balls just don't feel the same. It feels different, a little harder, tighter than in the past. Maybe hitters are changing their approach, going after certain launch angles, but pitchers who used to have a lot of movement in their pitches, those balls are not moving as much this year, and they are being hit a long way." There's a belief that the balls are wound differently than before, that the seams are different, which has an effect on the breaking ball, the movement of the fastball, and how the ball carries off the bat. Balls are traveling 500 feet in some instances. The MLB Commissioner's Office denies there's any change, but studies by the Ringer have discovered that baseballs over the past year or so have become smaller with lower seams, which is believed to be the cause for the power surge. The ball feels harder than ever, and pitchers are getting more blisters as a result. So, summing up, expect the home runs and the accompanying explosions of ecstasy for the batters to continue for the rest of this season. The pitchers are simply going to have to put up with the fact that they are getting screwed. The end. Now, we have a author's update for 2023. A total of 6,105 home runs were hit in 2017, an all-time high that would be surpassed only by the total of 6,776 in 2019. The 2023 total was 5,870, in case you're interested, including Shohei Ohtani's 44. However, some analysts attributed the explosion of home runs not just to harder, tighter baseballs or perhaps advanced pharmaceutical aids, but also to climate change. Dartmouth College researchers said they can connect to at least 500 additional home runs from 2010 to 2019 to Earth's human-made warming. Their research was based on the simple premise that, quote, air density is inversely proportional to temperature, end of quotes, according to the paper. And that, quote, with all else being equal, warmer air is less dense and a batted ball will travel further. Chicago Cubs fans will be happy to know that Wrigley Field and ballparks like it in open spaces will see a lot more home runs in the future because it's open air and many games are played in the daytime. And he indicates you can read about it here, and it's an old NBC article that is called Climate Change is Leading to More Home Runs, Study Finds. Warmer temperatures helped at least 500 more long balls sail over MLB fences from 2010 to 2019, according to a study from Dartmouth College researchers. And this was April 7th, 2023, by David, middle initial K, Lee, L-I. I'm not going to read it, and I will try to post the link to that, as well as Robert Whiting's article that I just read in the links, if I can do that. And that's all. Again, Robert Whiting, he is the premier author and expert on both Japanese professional baseball, or Japanese baseball in general, and also on Japanese organized crime. You can find his articles on Substack. Just go Robert Whiting, one word, .substack.com. Or you can go to his web page, which is Tokyo, Tokyo, Junkie, JUNKIE.com. And maybe check out one of his books. Most recently is Tokyo Junkie, but he's also Tokyo Underworld, The Fast Times and Hard Life of an American Gangster in Japan is excellent. And there's a classic that he wrote, You Gotta Have Wa, and you have he had an updated version of that in 2009. I'll try to put links in the description or in the comments. That's all. Thanks.